Hi, everybody, and welcome to English 1101. I'm going to go through our basic course policies, introduce myself a little bit, and get you all the information you need to know to get started for this week. So a little bit about me. My name is Professor Turner. I am an English instructor at Atlanta Technical College. I also work as an English instructor at Georgia State University. I think about writing as a process, and so what that means is you'll hear me say a whole bunch of times, it's a multi-layered process to get a paper finished. It won't be something that you can just churn out really quick, and we'll construct this class around that idea of how to work through a paper as a process. And concepts, material that we cover, that we work through in this class is extremely relevant and works towards what you do in your personal lives, professional lives, and your future academic work at Atlanta Technical College. So all of these areas will sometimes less obviously, but sometimes really obviously connect to those different areas that you are involved in. Some basics I want to go through policy-wise and everything you need to know for our class. It's a web enhanced course. What that means is we will be entirely online this semester. We won't have any synchronous meetings, and so you'll be working at your own pace based on our course calendar, and you'll be keeping up with our weekly work there. There'll be video lectures, PowerPoints, different assigned readings you'll be doing, and then different assignments associated with that work, but it'll be entirely online on our Blackboard page. You need a textbook. The textbook is available at the Atlanta Tech Bookstore. You'll need that sooner than later, so you'll have to make sure that that textbook is ready in the next week or so for you to use. In terms of attendance, it's not like we're going to be meeting in a classroom, but it is an asynchronous course, and we'll have an attendance assignment each week, and that'll be indicated very clearly. So there will be a handful of things you do, but one assignment will count as attendance, and then the rest of your work will be still important, probably sometimes more important than the attendance assignment, but will count just as those homework grades. In terms of no-shows, if you're watching this video, that hopefully is an indication that you won't be considered a no-show in this class. You'll just have to make sure you complete this week's work. But you can read through the definition there. If you are not attending that first week of class, you can be marked as a no-show. Plagiarism is another thing I want to make sure we review before we submit any work. Plagiarism is when we use other people's words or ideas and represent them as our own without giving citations or anything like that. It's just not permitted. We have a zero tolerance policy for it. If work is plagiarized in any way, it will not be eligible for a passing grade. And so in class, we'll work on ways to make sure we're giving sources credit, to make sure that we are using proper citations, learning how to paraphrase and everything related to that. But we want to make sure also that we are working with good integrity, that all of the work we submit for the class is ours and original and following the instructions of the assignment. And if you have any questions about what that looks like throughout the semester, I really encourage you to reach out to make sure that we don't fall into this academic dishonesty problem. There's a lot of consequences for it, and we want to make sure we avoid those and put forward the work that we're expected to be put forward. If you have any questions throughout the semester of plagiarism, please reach out. I'll never not want to answer those questions. In terms of grades and grading, you need to earn a C or better to pass the class, and you can see the breakdown on the screen here. Also in our syllabus, the instructions will always indicate sort of how you can earn these grades that you want to have in order to be successful in the course, and you should always be monitoring your grade book throughout the semester to make sure that everything is at pace for you to be where you want to be in the course. And whenever you have questions about your grades, please always reach out. I'm happy to discuss those with you. In addition to the course grade that you receive, you have a work ethics evaluation. There's more details about this in the syllabus, but basically this is a category that accounts for professionalism and work that you put forward and the way you represent yourself in that work that you're putting forward. Atlanta Technical College is really interested in preparing you for your future jobs, and in addition to the subject matter that we're covering, we also want to prepare you professionally. The things that I want you to keep in mind is professional email etiquette, which I can provide resources for if you have questions, the tones of your emails and the correspondences that you put forward, also your timeliness on your assignments, the effectiveness of your communication with your instructor and your peers, the effort that you put in the presentation of the work that you deliver throughout the semester. All of these things go into the consideration for that grade. And if you have any questions about that, please let me know. Now what? You should still read the full syllabus. This is just a really brief rundown on some things that I want to emphasize and really drive home for you all. Um, After you finish watching this video and after you go read through the entire syllabus, be sure to head over to our week 1 folder if you haven't already. Review that checklist. There's a handful of things you'll need to complete for week 1 in order to not be marked no-show, and also make sure that you're all set for all the different assignments that we will be doing this week and in the following weeks. So head over to lessons, click on week 1, and complete all of the items in your checklist. And if you are done there but you have some lingering questions, just send me an email via nturner@atlantatech.edu and or in our Blackboard course messages, and I will make sure to answer those questions for you. It's wonderful chatting with you. I wish I could see you all in a face-to-face class, but I look forward to seeing your work this semester.